Hello there, Virgos. So, I feel like this is a month in which a lot of new things are coming into the picture for you. A lot of things that you've been thinking about. You are an ideas person, and I feel like there have been things back in the month of in the time of Taurus. So that is, towards the end of April and the running through the entire month of May that you've had ideas, you have plans, you have some things that you're trying to undertake or to implement, possibly even new projects that you're trying to bring into the picture. And for whatever reason, I feel like a lot of you are just like, no, that's too risky. I don't really want to, do that yet. Or a lot of you are just like, I'm not ready for that yet. And this is the month in which those energies are coming back in. So if there has been a project or something that you've been thinking about back in that time frame, in the time of Taurus, you're going to be revisiting those energies and they're going to be coming through for you as well as kind of like validation, as confirmation that, okay, that's the right path that you need to take, and you need to, stop idling on the sideline, or at least, straddling the fence about what you need to do with those projects. I feel like you're going to have some really, really good spiritual insights as to what you need to take, the path that you need to take to implement those projects, or at least paths that you need to take in order to secure your professional life and your career sector. Okay, so I feel like we've been skirting or flirting with some ideas, but we're not really manifesting them, and we're not bringing them into reality just yet. So they're saying, don't sit on the fence for too long. You are being divinely guided to get things started, and it's really important for you to take this month to draw out a roadmap for yourself, and do some type of planning, lay down like a blueprint for yourself so that you can bring these projects, these ideas into the fold. Okay, so that's the first thing. I feel a very strong spiritual nudge happening in your life. And I feel for many of you, this is playing out in your professional life, okay? And it's kind of nudging you in the right direction. It's telling you to look at the big picture, look at what you're doing, and look at where you are better off being. So I feel for some of you, it's like working tirelessly in an environment, and that environment is in the process of reorganizing, reshuffling. And what it means is that, is your position safe? Is your current predicament, is it stable long term? And where else can you apply your energy so that you're not constantly working to advance the company or other people, to prop up other people? Where can you draw back your energy and apply it to yourself so that you can create more wealth, more abundance, more opportunities for yourself? So I feel for many of you, it's time to change jobs, and there is a lateral move that's going to be available for you. And it might have opened itself up back in May, and you're just like, I should have gone for it. And now you have another opportunity that's going to be coming into the picture for you. And so it's really important to grab those opportunities. And then for others, I feel like it just feels to me like the work environment itself it's like you're not really growing anymore. The work might feel a little bit like monotonous. You might feel safe and stable and secure, and so you don't really want to move. But then once again, I'm getting this big nudge here where you have to do something different because you're not growing anymore. You're not going to be long term and secure and happy there. So you need to upgrade your skills, or you need to find or seek a new work environment that will allow you to learn more, because you're maxing out. Okay. For others, I feel like, especially people who are in relationships, there are going to be a lot of ideas that you have. They're just like bubbling to the surface. And what's happening is, I see you like feeling very excited about new ideas. And if you're in a relationship, you're going to be like, you're going to want to call your partner, even in the middle of the night. You're just like, oh, I just had, this revelation, or I had this massive epiphany, or I just remember something from the past that might be useful. And I feel like your partner, for whatever reason, they're saying like not responding or not available for you to bounce those ideas off of. And so you might have to, then go to friends, family members, or your other, your subsequent like support system in order to get your ideas, have them like, form your ideas for you. So I feel like a lot of spiritual insights are coming through, but I feel like your partner, for whatever reason, they might be busy. They might be, for whatever reason, out of the picture, traveling, just dealing with their own families, dealing with their own stuff. And you feel a little bit kind of, you feel like you're very much alone in the relationship, okay? And I don't feel like it's a bad thing. I just feel like it's a temporary energy where these ideas are meant to be flushed out on your own rather than just bounced off another person, because I feel like you've been bouncing them off another person, but no actions are being taken from your end to materialize them. So the absence of a partner, as that emotional, like as that sounding board, is really forcing you to really think about, okay, have I done this before? Have I always just talked about it, but like, never taken the steps to do it? And this is the month for you to really lay down the blueprint for you to start something new. It's a good month overall because we do have a Mercury retrograde in your sign. And so a lot of issues that you have been thinking about, you have been, trying to get going, they're going to be like, these ideas are getting recycled. So I feel like you need to just do them so that they don't just bounce around in the ethers, or they just don't bounce around and nothing is done about them. Okay. So it's like having that extra spiritual nudge and that extra push for you to get things done. The third message that I have here is, I feel for some of you, there is some minor home repairs. They're saying like either roofing or foundational stuff, okay, like plumbing, electrical wiring. I do feel some water seeping into the ground, like, possibly corroding the foundation of a house. So if for homeowners out there, or even for people who are renting, I see some repair people coming into the home environment. It might be a little bit disruptive, but just keep in mind that these repairs need to happen, and you want to, be very careful. Anticipate these expenditures, okay, so that you can so that you can, so that you don't have a financial crunch that's coming through. So I do see some either major like cosmetic repairs that you're consciously doing, or some last minute repairs that are coming through with appliances. And especially I do see roofing things and foundational things, water leakage, and, electrical rewiring that needs to happen, even heating and plumbing that needs to happen. And so just, anticipate those expenditures. The last message that I have for you here, and I'm sensing this, okay? I feel like for many of you, there's this sense about, they mention a great orator. And I feel like you have somebody in your midst. You feel, this could be a coworker, a boss, and I feel like it's playing out more on the professional front. They're really good at speaking. They're really good at convincing people. They're really good at, hyping up their qualifications, their skills. But when push comes to shove, when it comes to their abilities to do their work, they're kind of falling short. And I feel like it really annoys you when somebody, they talk big, but they don't really follow through. And I feel that this energy is coming back in, where you're just like, how did that person get to the position that they are, when they're kind of incompetent, when they, talk really big about hyping themselves up, and other people just fall for it. But I feel like you have seen them at work, you have seen them in action, and you're just like, they're not very impressive. So I feel this energy about like everybody is on board with this one person, and you're seeing through the facade, and you're just like, why is everybody falling for it? And you're just like, maybe I'm being too critical of them. I don't feel that you're being too critical of them. You are somebody that is able to see through, to be able to dissect and to see through other people's facade. And I feel like you have a very keen, sharp perception. So if everybody is bandwagoning and supporting this person that you don't really agree with, you don't have to be the naysayer or the contrarian. You just need to, know that, okay, they're taken away by this smooth talker. I don't need to subscribe to that. I don't need to follow. I'm just going to follow whoever I feel is competent. So the energy for this month here, it's really forcing us to examine, what does quality really mean? Okay, so is it somebody who can present themselves in a very, I want to say, like, in a very superficial manner, and that way they get all those jobs that you want, or even they get like that income boost, they get get hired really fast, they get themselves into position of power, or they have like a wide following? Or is it like, does quality basically mean somebody who might not have the wide following, who might not have, the positive reception from everybody, but they're very methodical with their work. They know how to do things the right way, and they don't overhype or oversell themselves and not being able to deliver. So I feel the idea when it comes to, fairness, when it comes to personal representation, and how other people represent themselves, how you choose to represent themselves. These two ideas are kind of like clashing with each other. And you are not a boastful, arrogant type of a person. And it really, get under your skin when somebody is very arrogant, and they think that they might feel like they're a big shot, when in fact they're lacking in some of the, critical thinking skills, or even the competency to do their job well, and to, work in a way that they don't create extra work for other people. So you're going to encounter a person in your environment this month, and I feel for a lot of you, this is in work, where they underperform. They kind of like knowingly underperform. And other people just make a lot of concessions for them, make a lot of excuses for them. And you're just like, that's not fair. So that's just something, it's going to be a little bit frustrating. You're going to be dealing with this through the month. And, just know that your own sense of quality, your own sense of what you bring to the table, that is very internal. People might not agree with it, but that's just your own sense of self. And so regardless of what other people are doing, if they oversell themselves and they can't really deliver, that's just on them. And sooner or later, that's going to catch up with them. Okay, you don't have to be the one to even the score. You don't even have to be the one to, reveal them for who they are, because I feel like there is this sense of divine retribution that will come in the picture. And if that person continues to behave in such a manner, they're going to be revealed for who they are. So let me just, get into the reading for this month. So first of all, Virgos, let me just talk about your financial situation, because we have all of these pentacles cards that are coming through. Okay. We have here the Five of Pentacles. And the Five of Pentacles is a situation where I feel like many of you have had to work really, really hard from the ground up. I'm inclined to say, like, they mention new money. They mention new money. And I'm sensing many of you didn't come from, a trust fund family. You didn't come from families where parents were really, really wealthy, where parents, motivated you, or like really pushed you, or provided that mentorship for you to be able to be very successful. I'm seeing a lot of people here with parents that either that had a lot of financial struggles. You might have grown up in environments where there were a lot of financial fluctuations as well. And I feel like against all odds, you got to where you are today because of your own sheer sense of hard work and dedication and perseverance. And if you are dealing with that, I feel like life for you was about a series of safe decisions, right? It's kind of like, okay, I need to do this first to get myself to the next step. I need to go to that next step to get myself to the third step. So life was just about a series of like methodical planning, a series of decisions that depended on safety, security. And so you are very incredibly risk adverse because you understand what it's like to not have everything. And you've worked so hard to get yourself to this point where you're like so risk adverse that you're not really sure how to change direction, right? So you might have, for example, let's just say, you might have gone to school. You wanted to be an English major, for example. You might have gone to school for finance, for ICT, because at the time the labor market was in high demand for accountants and ICT people. And you might have not liked those fields, but you went into them because they promise a lot of financial security. And now that you find yourself where you are right now, where there's a lot of wealth, there's a lot of prosperity coming in, but you feel like, am I really emotionally happy? Am I, can I continue this? Is there like another job that where, my skills can be better applied? So I feel like on the one hand, you're making really good money, but on the other hand, are you really happy? Are you really secure? And are you feeling like this is what I want to do for the rest of my life? So I do sense this feeling of aversion for risk that's coming through, and we might get ourselves into a series of safe decisions, but it can also pigeonhole us into a specific field, a specific industry, or even a very specific safe relationship that might not meet our emotional needs. Okay, so these things are coming up for re-examination because I feel like um, I feel like you deserve a lot more. And I'm also sensing that you feel like you've made all of these safe decisions to get you where you are. But I'm also sensing the universe is telling you for this month, it's not because you made the safe decisions. It's because you intuitively have a very strong sense of timing. You intuitively work very hard, and you intuitively, you are very responsible. Like you got where you were, or you got where you are right now, mainly because you work very hard. So in any environment, if you work really hard, you will be able to succeed. And so you feel like, oh, it was, luck. It was just a series of decisions that was well thought out. And now you find yourself kind of stuck. But in fact, they're saying, even if you were to change direction, no matter what you do, it's still going to be very financially lucrative. It's still going to be very good for you because you know how to do things the right way. So I'm feeling some people needing a major change in direction and being very fearful about taking that first step. And Virgos, I've known many Virgoing people in my life, and I can honestly say that when you do something, you do it right. And so, I, for example, would trust my life to a Virgo because when they say they're going to do something, they follow through. And if I have to, vouch for the quality, I feel like Virgos, once they start something, they finish it. And once they finish it, the quality is going to be exemplary. It's going to be, you're going to outshine all of the other people. So that's the extent to which you need to believe in yourself, okay? You need to know that even if you were to change direction, it's still going to be okay. Because if you had to, get your hands dirty and start from the ground up in order to start over, you're still going to be okay. So we really need to think about more like emotionally, are we really happy? Can we do other things? Can we change direction right now? And can we be a little bit less fearful about, thinking about worst case scenario and thinking about like, I guess like doubting our own capabilities. Okay. So I'm just going to leave it at that. I hope that makes sense for you guys. I'm also feeling for many of you, there is a major relationship that is that needs to be repaired, that needs to be fixed. So what we have here is, first of all, a water sign. So this is a Pisces, a Cancer, or a Scorpio. And first of all, I'm feeling for some of you, this is somebody like a friend. This is somebody that is I'm feeling like, going back to that initial message here, where I feel like some of you, you've worked really, really hard your entire life. Things were not handed to you on a silver platter. You have a person that is the opposite. They've gone through life to the point where, like things were just given to them without them having to work very hard at it. And so they have this mentality of like, oh, everything's going to be fine. Everything's going to be dandy. I don't have to plan for anything because my life has never gone awry. For the first time this month, for this person, things are going to go unexpectedly awry. And they're going to turn to you for, like, what do I do? Things like that. And I feel for some of you, this is a Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio, Sun, Moon, or Rising. And things are hitting them left and right in a very unexpected way. And because they didn't have that, I guess like because they didn't have to work from the bottom up, they feel as if, okay, I'm exempt from it. I don't need to do it in that procedurally correct way. And things are going to be okay. So they don't understand the gravity of the situation. They don't understand that they need to change. They don't understand that, if I keep heading down the wrong path or the same path, it's going to lead to a very unsatisfying conclusion. So this is a person in your midst that you care about, okay? And I feel like for some of you, a very close friend. And then for others of you, and it can be male or female, these cards are not gender specific for general readings. For others of you, it could be a family member or, somebody that you care about, for a while, a very close friend, family member. And I feel like they make a series of, they can be as reckless as they want to be. And they haven't really dealt with, ramifications of that. They behaved in a way where they feel like they might be entitled to things, and they don't really think about it's almost like growing up in a very privileged way and thinking that everybody's like that, thinking that they don't have they're exempt from the rules, okay? If this is somebody that is perpetually, in and out of your life, I want you to be a little bit careful because the energy can be a little bit toxic. And so detaching from this person is going to be good. And I feel as well, there might have been multiple run-ins because this is a card here about karma. There might have been multiple run-ins between you and this person in the past where you come from different stations in life. And they have trouble, understanding all your struggles. They have trouble understanding why you worry so much. And they might live a little bit more vicariously, like, making decisions that are not well thought out, but things just seem to go their way. And then on the flip side, I feel like it's really hard for you to relate to this person because you feel like, they haven't really had it hard. And the things that they complain about, you're just like, everyone deals with that, So there's going to be a little bit frustration dealing with this person for this month. I feel for some of you, this might also be a relationship partner, but I feel that if it's a relationship partner, their priorities are just different, okay? And so this is the month where we need to be very, very patient when dealing with other people, and we need to be extremely patient when it comes to, being able to put yourself in their shoes and to understand where they're coming from, okay? That's what I'm sensing here. And I feel like this is it's really interesting the way this plays out. It's almost like two people living parallel lives, two people finding themselves in the same professional setting or in the same predicament, but they're handling things in a very, very different manner. And I feel like you're looking at this person from afar and you're just like, I don't really approve of your decisions, but I feel like you're keeping your opinions to yourself. And they're just gonna, do what they want to do because they're not operating from a space where they know how to, where they have the hindsight, where they understand what struggles really mean. Okay, so that's what I'm feeling here. The other thing that is coming into the picture here, and especially if for some of you who might have a lot of struggles with relationships, what I have here is the Ace of Cups in the reverse. And the Ace of Cups in the reverse, this is kind of like the moment of clarity where we ask ourselves, like, what's going on? Do we really love the other person, or do we need to let go? So I feel like some of you are letting go of a significant relationship, mainly because the other person is not taking ownership. I feel like they're not taking ownership of their roles. They're not, I'm sensing like a little bit of a victim mentality associated with this person. So I do feel some of you are going to be leaving a relationship partner behind because they're not able to take ownership of their responsibilities. They're a little bit like, when it comes to personal responsibility, they're a little bit like reckless, and they're also making decisions too that I feel is not conducive for long-term growth. Okay, and they're also not taking responsibility for their contributions to a specific circumstance, to a specific course of action. I feel like overall this is a card indicative of you withdrawing your support for a person. And it's funny, they say like withdrawing your support for a candidate. So if you've really, been on board with a person, sponsoring a person, advocating for a person, I feel like this is the month in which you're having, like doubt, and you are withdrawing your time, your resources, your investment in a specific person as well. When you're able to pull back this energy, which I feel is going to be really, really good for you, you're going to be able to achieve a lot more wealth for yourself. So rather than helping everybody else, navigate their own issues, you're drawing back your energy, you're focusing more on you. So I do feel that you're going to be a lot more conscientious about where you are spending your time, where you are expending your financial resources, and how you can draw this back and not waste it on people, avenues where the financial payout might not happen. So I'm sensing for many of you, there's a major reassessment about, drawing back your time, being very, very conscientious about who you are giving your time to. So in the past, if you have been kind of like a little bit more of a social butterfly, this is the month where you draw back your energy and you're just like, I don't know, I don't really enjoy hanging with that person anymore, so I'm just not going to accept those invitations. So we have here a lot of social activity that is happening for you, a lot of like meet and greet opportunities, a lot of networking opportunities that are coming into the picture, and friends, associates, and even love interests that are in the picture, shooting you emails, text messages, calling you. And you're just like, I'm going to make myself scarce. I'm going to make myself unavailable because I don't really want to hang out with those people. The communication is not flowing well, or I don't feel like emotionally they get me. So I feel like you're going to check yourself out of many, many social engagement where you feel that emotional disconnect. Okay. I'm also sensing as well, this is the month where doing things for show is not going to be interesting anymore. So I feel for many of you, especially if you are kind of like, especially if people have, if you have like a lot of disposable income and you're looking at investment opportunities, and I feel like a lot of people will come to you. They see that you're dripping in money. And they're like, hey, I have these 3 projects. I need a financier. Do you want to invest? And their plans have not been really thought out, right? And so you're trying to tell them like, okay, so give me your business proposal, give me your business plan. Let me see how viable it is. And I feel like nothing is done on their end. So you're going to be very impatient when it comes to people who are, first of all, incompetent, or people who are not taking their responsibilities seriously, because they don't understand what it means to work from the ground up. Okay, so be very patient this month. You don't have to give them a piece of your mind. You know, I feel like oftentimes when you don't like something, or when you do like something, I feel like your body language and your facial expression is pretty clear to people who are interacting with you. So this is the month where we want to be a little bit more stone faced, where we want to be able to you know, kind of like not jump the gun when it comes to giving somebody a piece of our mind, because I do see them working on your nerves and, you know, grading your patience. Okay. It's really important to be very, very poker face and stone face when we're dealing with other people, so that we don't display annoyance. We don't display like impatience in our body language, in our facial expression. So I feel like that's going to be better for you. So if somebody is just like coming in without a plan, and they have all these big ideas, and it's not even concrete, and it's not even viable, just tell them, give me your business proposal, I'll think about it, and be on your way. Okay. So that's what I'm feeling here for you, Virgos. I feel like you're going to be cutting some people out of your life left and right. And I do feel for many of you, it's kind of like out of self preservation, mainly because you want meaningful relationships, and especially you want meaningful communication and meaningful, you know, people in your life. So the ones that are a little bit more on the superficial end, that's not going to fly. The people without very deep emotional insights into their own actions, and the people that are playing like the victim, I just don't feel you're going to have the patience to deal with them. So they're going to be coming at you left and right, and it's just not going to cut it anymore. Okay. So the process of people dropping away, I feel like it's going to start happening for you for this month of August, going into September birthday time, and going into the December, the end of this year. I feel like it's going to start happening left and right. One last thing I want to mention as well is this. Both of these cards indicate, they both indicate health. Okay. And the Strength card, this is kind of like, I usually think of it as something from the past flaring up, that if we haven't gotten them treated for, or we haven't gotten proper treatment for, I feel like it's going to kick up. And I do see a lot of inflammation with you guys. So this can be, I'm seeing cysts. I'm seeing as well like major migraines that are happening here. And I do feel like fevers, chills, and, you know, like inflammation. Okay. Make sure that you get adequate rest for this month. Make sure that you sleep properly if you are traveling heavily. And we have a lot of travel opportunities, a lot of opportunities for you to rub elbows with people, and they're coming to you, possibly soliciting you for funds, soliciting you to get on board with them for a specific venture. I do feel like you're going to be in high demand. So that means taking time off for yourself if you're feeling sick and you're just like, but I already promised them I'm going to do this. Make sure you take care of your health first, okay? Because you're not going to be good to anybody if you are under the weather, okay? Conserving our energy, and especially knowing that our time, our energy is limited, and we want to be operating at our best when we're doing something. That's very important. So do not neglect your health just because promises were made. Things need to be delivered on a specific timeline. Take care of yourself first. Take care of yourself first. This is a month for us to be a little bit more on the selfish end, and to get things done, and to make sure we are emotionally, financially, and physically feeling and operating at our best. Okay. Don't feel guilty about putting yourself first, Virgo. You deserve it. Okay. Let me see if there's anything else coming through. They mention a lot of noise violations, so I don't know if you are in a if you have rowdy neighbors, or if you are doing the remodeling that I mentioned earlier, like some fixing, some remodeling. Just earplugs, finding a quiet space, changing your, just getting some snooze time in whenever you can, because I feel like you might feel under the weather, but there's a lot of noise around your neighborhood or in your household, so you can't really get adequate sleeps. Just be careful about that, okay? Make sure you take care of yourself. So I'm going to go into your love relationship reading and see what's going on for you guys. I just don't feel like relationship will be, a major factor this month, but I feel like your relationship partner might be in and out of the picture. And so they're saying like they might not be, available physically when you need them. So for example, you might be very busy and you need some soup, and you're just like, can you get me some soup? And they can't do it as well because they're busy. So I feel like things like that coming up in your relationship sector. So just be very patient. It's not that they don't care, it's that they're busy, or they're not physically available for whatever reason. They might have overtime at work. They might be sick as well, and they can't really, run these errands for you. Okay. So I feel many of you are going to be ordering food in so that if you have the disposable income, definitely do that, rather than stressing yourself over what are we cooking, what are we eating. So ordering in once in a while, I don't feel like it's going to be harmful or it's going to be hurtful. Okay. And I actually feel many of you will be ordering in, because I just feel like you don't have the energy to want to mess with grocery shopping, going to, having to stand up and like cook extensive meals. So I feel a lot of people ordering in, eating late night. Be careful about your health. Just make sure you get, proper nutrition. So that means making the time to, even when we order out, or even if we eat out a lot, we can still opt for healthier options. Okay. So Virgos, if your body, I feel like it's very, very sensitive, especially the stomach area. So if you are getting sick often, you need to have a lot more, vitamins in your diet. Okay. So vitamin C, and especially a lot more fresh fruits and vegetables in your diet. If you feel like any changes when it comes to digestion, just make sure you are feeding your body the right thing. You're highly sensitive to vitamin deficiency, and I feel like calorie deficiency too. So I feel a lot of people, if you're not like getting the proper calories, you're going to lose weight very, very quickly, and it's going to be extremely noticeable. Okay. So just pay attention to your body, what it needs. Okay. Because I feel like that's just something your body's really sensitive to, or you are very sensitive to. Okay. So let me talk about this. So you can be single, or you can, be already coupled up. This is a card here about social dating. Okay. So if you are single and you are socially dating, there is somebody that is really, really eyeing you. So Virgoan people, I feel like we have here a very, very good connection that you're making with another person. So we have here the Three of Cups, socially dating, meeting new people, branching out, looking at other options that are available for you on the dating front. We have the Ace of Cups, which is basically having somebody in your environment that is showing you a lot of attention, giving you a lot of affection, and they're very, very, I feel like they're very, very expressive about how they feel about you. They're going to want to, be with you all the time. They're going to contact you heavily. And I feel like it's going to feel a little bit overwhelming. Okay. And we have as well the Wheel of Fortune. I'm feeling for singles, you definitely need to make yourself available. There's a very strong love connection that you will have with another person. And I'm feeling we have people from all signs of the zodiac, okay? Like we have like an air sign here, Queen of Swords. We have possibly fire signs and water signs. And we have a strong fire sign here. So this is Sagittarius, Aries, or Leo. Singles, you have a barrage of options that are going to be available for you. And singles, I feel like, you know, I mentioned this with Scorpio too, but I feel like with Virgos, it's especially true as well. It's not often that you're single because you guys tend to be in very long relationships. So whenever you're single, all of these people are kind of like coming out of the woodwork and just, you know, hounding you, right? Because it's not often that you're single. And so I feel like you have a lot of options. Some of you are single and dating, like doing a lot of online dating, meeting a lot of people, doing a lot of meet and greet, and keeping your options open. And I do feel this is the month, if you're doing that, we have a very strong person that's going to be coming into the picture that is really gunning for you, okay? So let me talk about the past. We have here the Ace of Swords, and we have here the Queen of Coins, okay? So in the past, this is you being kind of like being the workaholic and spending a lot of your time at work, working overtime, worrying about your career. And, you know, it's like work and then going home, taking care of home responsibilities, pets, washing your clothes, doing the dishes. So I feel like it's just a very mundane type of energy, where you're just you're not really putting yourself out there, and you're not really getting out of the house much. You have everything that you need at home, and so you tend to be a little bit of a recluse, and you tend to be a little bit of a homebody. And we also have, this is a situation where you start to break free. This is the Ace of Swords here, and the Ace of Swords deals with heavy communication, and it deals with an energy where you're no longer succumbing to this place of safety. You're putting yourself out there, you're scoping territory, you're scoping out, you know, the competition, or you're even scoping out to see what the dating environment looks like, okay? So I do feel for many of you, no longer playing that homebody role, no longer feeling like, I'm too lazy to get out. I feel like you're going to prioritize your love life, and you're going to be scoping out just to see what's available for you. Some of you, I feel like you are looking at apps. So for example, if you're doing some type of online dating, you're like not putting your picture up, but you're looking at, so for example, you know, you're on the dating app, and I feel like your picture is blank, but you're looking to see what's available. So you might even, you know, be tempted to contact a few people, but I feel like your picture is not on there. So you're not completely 100% in when it comes to dating. And if you're kind of on the fence, this is the month for you to stop, you know, being on the fence about it, and just dive right in, because you have some suitors that are going to be coming into the picture, okay? So crowning this reading is somebody that you are thinking about. So first of all, I have here the Chariot, and I have here the Emperor. Usually the crowning energy is somebody that we already have in our lives, and we are already kind of like crushing on, or somebody that we're heavily thinking about for this month. So we have many suitors coming in. First of all, this is the card about, this is the card of Cancer. It's the major arcana card that represents the sign of Cancer. The Chariot, this is somebody that I feel they might be far away from you. They might be a Cancer. They might be far away from you. And they might be a transplant in the area that you're living in, okay? So I feel like they're going to be very different from you, either culturally, ethnically, linguistically. And I also feel there is a very strong attraction here, where they're a water sign, you're an earth sign. So the way you do things is not going to be very similar, but I do feel that it can work, and the energy, the energy exchange between the two of you seems like it flows really well. And then we have here the Emperor. Crowning this reading, this is somebody that is very, very intelligent, very educated. I feel like they work in some type of a consultancy role, where they manage other people. Other people look up to them as kind of like the voice of authority. And I also feel this person has a lot of, they're really, really, really intelligent. And I feel, Virgos, you are naturally attracted to intelligent people. So you have a person that is incredibly hardworking, is incredibly intelligent. They have a lot of potential. And this is somebody that you're thinking about, that you really like, that you're really digging. Okay. I feel like it could be many, many signs, because I feel that many of you are single and dating and you're interacting with a lot of people overall. But you have somebody that is really very smart in the picture. The foundation here, we have here the Ten of Wands as well as the Knight of Wands. So I feel like this is somebody that has left the picture, okay? The Knight of Wands is a fire sign, Sagittarius, Aries, or Leo. This is somebody that, you know, they're very exciting, and there might have been great chemistry between the two of you. But they're like in and out of the picture, or they're constantly traveling back and forth. And it's hard to maintain a stable relationship with each other. This is somebody that still likes you. And I just feel like, you know, they're honest and straightforward, and, you know, they have a really good heart. They care about people and they care about you, but it's just for some reason difficult to have a stable relationship with them. So for whatever reason that might be, it could be circumstantial, it could be geographical even. And this is a person that you have kind of like dropped away from your life, But for this month, I feel like there's going to be news, communication, and things like that where they are coming back, okay? The Ten of Wands usually indicates a situation where we drop a burden. Something proved to be too difficult and too hard to maintain, and we don't really feel like we can be in it anymore. So I feel like some of you have already have this fire sign that's in your past, and they're trying to come back in. They see you starting to date, they see you starting to branch out, and they're trying to get back into that dating picture with you. You have another person that you're thinking about, and you especially have your eyes on somebody else. And so moving forward into the future position, we have here the Queen of Swords, and this could be the new person that you've got your eyes on. The Queen of Swords is an air sign, an Aquarius, a Gemini, or a Libra, linked up with the Nine of Cups. And I feel like if you have an air sign in your periphery and you're just like, I wonder if that person likes me. And the answer here is yes. The Nine of Cups is a wish card, and I feel like feelings are definitely being reciprocated here. And if you are single, I feel like you have this person coming in for you. The communication is going to flow really well between the two of you, because air signs are great communicators. Air signs are also very deep thinkers. The emotional connection might be lacking a little bit, so give it a little bit more time. And I feel like this is somebody that's going to make their feelings known to you. But they're not like, you know, mushy about emotional and verbal expressions. I feel like the beginning of the relationship can be very, very platonic. It might take a really long time for the emotional depth to develop, but this, I feel, can be a very good match for you, okay? I want to say as well, I'm sensing that for a lot of you, if you have been dating and you're just like, I'm not really sure if I can take a relationship to the next level, somebody is going to want to take a relationship to the next level with you. So they might be like, hey, let's date each other exclusively. Okay. I'm also feeling as well